Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to, welcome to Behind the Beret. So I want to call it Behind the Beret because it's literally we have Beyond the Beret for the podcast, and now we have Behind the Beret where they get to see kind of like behind the Green Berets. You know what I mean? Like shit that we do when our off time when we're not all fancy and not all behaving for the camera, and we're just talking about different topics. You know what I mean?
Uncut.
It so behind the right. So we're gonna stick with that one for a while and see how it pans out. Like we might get some shitty feedback, but it is what it is. So yeah, I have Larry Washington on, guys, National Guard, SF guy. I can't remember which episode you were on the podcast. You do?
No, I know I did too. Our ship was so long, we was vibing, so it went a little bit beyond the beret and the time that we supposed to have, but we did it anyway.
Yeah. So there was a part 1 and a part 2. So if you guys haven't seen that one, make sure you go check it out, guys. But yeah, I wanted to bring them on and try to make this a regular thing to where we just link up and then we just talk about like current events, right? Sometimes it'll be military. And if not military, it can just be whatever's going on around the world, right? Like it is what it is. We'll try to stay away from politics, right? Because I've tried that.
Yeah.
And I learned real quick that people are very passionate about their politics and their religion. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I have my point of views. They have their point of views. We're not going to change each other's minds, so we'll just stay away. You know what I mean? And then we'll just talk about just trending topics, right? But today, we wanted to talk about Travis King, right? If you guys aren't familiar, Travis King is the soldier that ran into North Korea as he was being transported back to the States. So backstory, I guess he was he's a private in the United States Army stationed in Korea. And he was getting himself into some trouble, right? He was going out and hitting South Koreans, like punching them out. He had a lot of problems with work, and they had enough of his shit, right? So they gave him a couple of Article 15s. They were getting ready to ship him back to the States, wherever was transporting him. He gave them the slip, and then he went on a tour of the DMZ. And then he decided to escape into North Korea, right? So yeah, Larry, what are your thoughts about that?
Hey, I don't know if that was an escape though. Like if you go to North Korea, that's like signing up for a sandbag detail, man. Like I don't know if that was his wisest choice, but it seemed to be the only choice at the time, given the circumstances that he was in trouble.
And that's what I was thinking about. I'm like, man, who escapes to North Korea, right? Because when I saw the story initially, I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed, right? I was like, man, like, well, not only are you a black soldier, you know what I mean? Like, I'm out here trying to change things, right? Trying to, get recruiting numbers up, and he's over there doing hood stuff and running and escaping into North Korea. So I went in on him, right? In one of the videos that I've made that had a lot of cussing that I've taken down since then because YouTube don't play that.
Right.
But after I saw that video, I was taken back because I was like, man, like who escapes into North Korea? Because I get it, man. Like as privates, like we do some of the dumbest shit there is to do. Like I remember when I was a private, insubordination, I get it, right? Like you don't want to hear stuff from nobody. I've been there, I've done it, right? So that's like that you can get off with. But going out and punching locals and laying them out like that, I have a problem, right? Because at no point in time when you wear the U.S. uniform should you be doing that.
My philosophy is, man, shitbag has no color.
Yeah.
Right? Black, white, Spanish, yellow, green, purple. I hate all shitbags equally, no matter what color you are. So if you're a good white dude, you're a good Latin dude, you're a good yellow dude, whatever color you want to associate yourself with, if you're a good person, you got my vote. That being said, though, we all know in the bigger scheme of things, that the stereotypes are, here's this a black soldier, angry person. He's out here doing things, and you got other folks of the same complexion that are trying to do things to change the perception of what society has for us. You know what I mean? So that being said, a shitbag is a shitbag because they're all over the place to be able to point fingers.
Yeah.
But it kind of hit close to home when you see it, like, well, what was going through my man's mind? I was an E4 Mafia now. We didn't play that shit. We look forward to knuckling up with an NCO if we felt like we were being disrespected. But we also wasn't out there just beating up random people and being bullies. That was always frowned upon in the E4 Mafia Corps. And obviously we're a little bit higher ranked now, so we take a little bit different stance. But back in the day, you already know, hey, we can handle this in the sand pit.
Yeah.
We can knuckle up. But
yeah,
a lot of these kids today, man, to be honest with you, they take the coward move. Yeah. I call them the microwave generation. Yeah. They want to put their career in the microwave, put on 30 seconds, and voila. Yeah. I'm Special Forces, or I'm Ranger Bat, or I'm Ranger Tab. It just doesn't happen like that. And I think what happens is these kids get frustrated because it's not as though it's shown on YouTube, all the fancy stuff and things they think they could just get at the snap of a finger. So
yeah,
Army is going to
and he looks fairly young, you know what I mean? So he can't, like, it's got to be like early 20s, right? Because he looks like a fairly young dude, which, dude, like folks in their early 20s right now were born in like 2000s, right? 2001, 2002, 2003s, when we joined the military, So
I was in Iraq when they were born.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, like when I see, like an African American soldier do that type of stuff, I take it personal, right? Because we're on here trying to change perception, and I'm trying to show people that, hey, it's all right to come in the military, and it can do a lot of good for you, right? And now you have him in the national spotlight, pretty much about to be trialed and probably sent to prison, right? So that's counterintuitive as to what we're trying to do, and showing a different light to the military, right? And now that's what's going to get headline news around the United States and probably around the world, and it's going to show that, hey, if you're African American, or if you're whatever, like, this is what's going to happen to you, right? Because regardless if it's black, white, like, they're going to see a black dude getting trial and going to jail. That's what they're going to see. They like, most folks won't even dig into the actual story of what actually happened. They're just going to see the headlines, and the youth is going to be like, damn, like, I don't want to be that dude. Like, no, I'm not going in, right? And that's just going to, lead to another recruiting crisis that's currently going on right now, right? So it's something else, man. Now, I remember when I was a private, and that's how ballsy these guys are getting nowadays. Because when I was a private dude, at no point in time would I have ever considered doing something like that. As far as running and escaping, well, not escaping, but deserting into another country.
Well, we could go into a lot of different rabbit holes on this issue, from social class to single parent home, or maybe you have both parents, and you have those small factors. But at the end of the day, it's one, who recruited you.
Yeah.
Right. Let's start with that. Who the fuck brought you into the Army and assessed you and say you were a good fit for the military in general? And I've seen some guys that's, for lack of better words, are unfit for the military. They should have never been in the first place. And so now you have these soldiers in with all these different problems, and the NCOs, who are new leaders, don't know how to deal with those soldiers. And then two, we could address another issue that, well, maybe it was addressed, and higher up just ain't do shit about it.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, how many times have we seen guys like, yo, why isn't he how is he even still in the military?
Yeah.
How is it even going on? You know what I mean? So, I'm a firm believer that catastrophic failure didn't happen that day. It was a lot of failures leading up to that, that should have happened, that didn't happen, that led to that. So there's a lot of fingers to be pointed at, man, but it starts at recruiting station. How are we recruiting people? Is the testing, singling those people out to weed those people out, because in selection, when we go SF, right, you got to have a certain GT score. Yeah. You got to pass a psych eval. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of factors that go into it to make sure that the guys that they're selecting don't fall short of. And so I think the Army has to kind of refit how they're assessing who's coming in and how they're coming in. Yeah. And it's not saying that it's a bad system, but sometimes those guys slide through. Yeah. And this is a result of it. Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And it sucks, man. But yeah, as soon as that story came out, I was like, man, North Korea, like, dude, there was a video going around of a North Korean soldier, or was it a civilian? I can't remember. But this dude was like INTing, like low crawling, running through bullets to escape North Korea. Like, that's how bad that place is. Like, he was no shit.
And my boy was running towards it, right?
Yeah. That's
Hey, listen, on a different level, he a G.
Yeah.
He a G to me, man. Like, shit, he a better man than me. I wouldn't have been running that direction, boy, unless I got bullets on my ass and I'm just trying to INT to the next cover. But
yeah,
it won't be because I'm trying to leave South Korea.
Yeah.
Because I'm scared of an Article 15, man. You have to go ahead and do that paperwork and chop me out, bro.
Yeah.
But that ain't the place where people starving that I'm trying to run to. Because
it's
in prison, I can eat.
Yeah.
Hell, I'm going to get over there.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I saw that video, and when he made it across the DMZ, oh boy was so happy that he was. And then here this dude is running towards North Korea and successfully making it into. And the first thing I thought was, holy shit, like a black dude in North Korea. Like, here we go, right? But then recently, like literally within 2 weeks ago, like North Korea released them, right? Or he made it out of North Korea successfully. And I'm like, man, like, did he get kicked out of North Korea? Like, what the hell happened there?
Hey, listen, if they let old boy loose, it's one of two things, because he badass crazy, and they's like, hell no. Or two, he had no value to give them. You know what I'm saying? And they knew America didn't give a shit about him. Yeah. Now, you could throw the race car because he was black. That's why America really didn't put value in him like we did old boy in Afghanistan when he was, missing for 5 years, and a lot of soldiers died because of that. Yeah. And there was, little repercussions because of that to his, criminal history. But here you have a guy who didn't really disturb that, and they Korea say, get the fuck up out of our country. Yeah. But I see it as he had no value. Now, I don't know if you remember when Dennis Rodman went over there for political reasons. Yeah. And I don't know if Trump or whoever sent them over there, but they welcomed him with open arms. So it's not like they, don't embrace the brown culture. Yeah. But for some reason, this kid was either that messed up or had very, very little value that they could use as leverage to gain by that. So again, it's a sad story, man. Never should a soldier feel like they could go to a country as such, a communist country, and where they're starving their people, beating their people, enslaving their people, and then that you say that's where you want to go.
Yeah, and that's what got me, man. And initially, when the story broke, it was like, man, like, is our military that bad? Is that the point that it's gotten to where guys are escaping into North Korea? Like, I'd rather go over there than deal with, my freaking unit, or deal with the shit that I'm gonna face, in the US. Like, I'd rather go to North Korea. Like, that was the first thought that came to my mind. And I've never been to North Korea, so I can't really say that it is that bad, but bro, I've heard the horror stories. Like, there's no fucking way I'm escaping into North Korea. right? And like you mentioned, to your point, he either had no value, or he was really, really messed up, right? Like I
Yeah.
can't think of any either that or Dennis Rodman when he got him, and we just don't know about it. Right? Like that's all I could think of. You know what I mean?
Hey, I don't know, man. I just that's it's almost unbelievable because I can't see why they wouldn't take the opportunity to keep him as leverage, as a wager, because they've done it in the past. Yeah, they did let Dennis Rodman go there, but that was for other political reasons and stuff that that was probably unforeseen to us that maybe our government was tracking. But as far as like him going there and getting released, maybe there was some behind the deal, stuff that was happening that we may not be aware of, because sometimes that does happen. And I'll leave this mission nameless, but I was in a particular country where there was a hostage that was gone for like, I think almost 10 years. And all of a sudden, boom, the terrorist group released them and you were supposed to go extract them. And then somehow the 1-3-level agent flew him into the airport and boom, there he was. So, a lot of times there are deals being made. And I think I read an article they were saying, I forget what country it was, that was actually bargaining for him. And it wasn't even the U.S. So sometimes we'll use other countries to do it for us. So
Sweden.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Had some. I think it was Sweden. I think they had some bone in that fight as far as working towards his release. And I'm glad it didn't get to the point where he was being exploited that we know of, right? As far as publicly, and I mean, dude, So I'm glad we didn't get to that point because I think it would paint this country in even worse light. To have a black soldier in North Korea being paraded throughout the streets. North Korea already, they say we have, racial issues, and I'm like, North Korea, you have no room to talk. You got some work to do over there. You know what I mean? But so now he's back in the States, and of course he's going through trial. More than likely he's going to go to jail, right? But
maybe.
Shit, no baby about it.
I'm leaning on the side that the kid has some real mental issues, and I absolutely hate, and you shouldn't use hate as a word, but I hate when people use mental illness as a reason to kill people, right? But in this case, he didn't kill anybody, but he did go over to a side that anybody in their right mind would be like, ain't no way I'm doing that. So there's definitely, I think, a disconnect upstairs. It may not be mental illness, may just be like he just ain't got it all.
But he's like, what? Either he was messed up before he came in the military.
Oh, 100% he was messed up before
because
he got it.
He hasn't been in long enough to have any mental scars. You know what I mean? Like, we're disgruntled. We've earned this. You know what I mean? Like, the VA's paying us because of our problems. But he hasn't gone through anything to be that messed up to want to run into North Korea. So something else prior to joining the military happened. You know what I mean? Whatever that is, that's not for you and I to know about or discover, but something else had to be going on.
But let me ask you something though. Serious question though. When you went to basic training, because I know when I went, and I was at, I think it was 50th ASG in Fort Benning, there was a lot of people that signed that contract, and when they got there, they was like, I don't know why I signed that contract.
Oh yeah.
And it was guys on suicide watch.
Oh yeah.
That was the thing.
It was a thing. I remember.
They put him on orange vest, and you was like, what the hell wrong with him? Oh, he on suicide watch. I'm like, suicide watch? What's that? You know?
It was funny to me. It was messed up at the time, but it was funny to me, like seeing folks that's never been away from home and seeing how they dealt with it, crying, suicide. We had one dude try to escape the barracks.
Listen,
and I'm like,
that's basic training. So you can imagine being in South Korea and you ain't never been out of, Miami or Opelika. I'm gonna speak for Miami term, like, and you ain't never been outside of that. And you see this shit and you just like, yo, I got to get the hell up out of here.
Yeah.
We got guys that do that in basic training, but you don't hear about them stories. I
Yeah.
know guys that hitchhike, done come back with sunburn all over their face because they got lost in the woods. Like, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But it's not talked about. And so when it hit national news because you go to a country as such, then yeah, people are going to know about it. But that's not uncommon for military folks to run away.
Yeah.
Because they do it in the States.
Yeah. So yeah, whatever was going on, man, like it had to either happen prior to coming in or in basic. Now, and I think this one's interesting, right? So once he went across the border, of course, he didn't get designated as a prisoner of war because we're not at war with North Korea, right?
Right.
But
like
I think, yeah, once he gets back to the States, he's going to go to trial, and I'm anticipating him spending some time in jail. Now, there's a lot of comparisons being thrown around between him and Bill Bergdahl. And that dude I have a problem with because, in my opinion, similar situation, right? They both chose on their own will to desert. And that's exactly what Bergdahl did back in 2009. He deserted, right? At that time, they thought he, got captured. Like, it wasn't until later on that we realized, like, hey, this dude just up and walked out the gate, right? That was another case that blew my mind as far as, like, what was he thinking and what was going through his mind. But anyways, he ended up getting captured 5 years, got released, and he did no jail time, right? Because we saw it as, hey, like, justice was served, right? I don't agree with that because a bunch of people died looking for that dude. Justice was not served.
Right.
And I can honestly say, and this is just me being honest, like, if any of my dudes would have died chasing that dude, he wouldn't be walking around right now because that's some bullshit, right? But so in comparing that to Travis King, he's got mental issues, right? Or whatever his issue is, but no one got killed. Yeah, we got embarrassed, but shit, we've been getting embarrassed since this war started 20 years ago, and we just embarrassed ourselves by the way we pulled out of Afghanistan. Right. So in my opinion, he should be like checked into like a mental asylum and get the help that he needs, not end up in prison, right? And if he does go to prison, then we need to track Bergdahl down and put his ass in jail too, in my opinion.
100% accurate on that. And I feel the same way. That's why I did say, at the end of the day, as messed up as a decision that he made, he definitely got something going on mentally upstairs that the recruiters didn't catch. And I'm not trying to like bash the recruiters, but somebody was trying to meet their quota for the month, and homeboy slid in there, right? Yeah. Nobody died. He did do something heinous. He beat people up, which I frown upon. I don't give a shit. His ass should go to jail and serve his time for that as well. But on the flip side, he also should get some mental help, right? But this other guy who was gone for 5 goddamn years with a lot of soldiers with loss of life in pursuit and trying to rescue him, not knowing that he willingly left a combat post to now go outside and that I can't that doesn't make any sense to me. He needs to be mentally evaluated, but also he needs to serve his time because people died in his name. So he got bought.
That means the ultimate. Like, there's no such thing as time served, right? Yeah, he was with the Taliban for 5 years, but there's people that are no longer on this earth, right? Like, you can't just call that time served and say, oh, it's all good, right? But he had a really good attorney. And Travis King's family just hired that same attorney to represent him. So, well. So maybe Travis King will get time served also, right? However way, like whatever way it goes, I still think that he needs some actual fucking help.
Yeah, I think both of them do, and I think both of them should serve time for their crimes that they committed. Yeah. I don't think they should get a scapegoat because they had some mental shit going on. We all got mental stuff going on in our lives that I feel like that puts us on the edge that we don't normally talk about, but life is hard, man. And that old saying, only the strong survive, is a true statement. Like, you got to be strong to survive some of the blows that life is going to throw at you. And some of the things that we go through the military, I feel prepares for some of those blows that we get in life to kind of endure and know that, you know, if I keep just putting one foot in front of the other, I will make it through. Yeah. But not having the support to push you through sometimes, and some people need support, some people don't. Those people fall to the way and they do something stupid like this guy did. Yeah. So yeah, but I 100%, regardless of the mental issue, man, you're gonna have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. My son, if he doesn't know not to do something, or I told him not to do something, he still do it, bro, I ain't finna blame that on no mental stuff. You just straight up disobeyed the order. Yeah. So you got to pay the piper.
Yeah.
It may be painful.
What, man, they should just get him some help and just make him just send him to the Florida National Guard or something. You know what I mean? Just have him hang out there.
Hey, man, I ain't gonna let you hate on the nasty girl, man. You know, the nasty girl, we come crazy, you know. Yeah, but that's a good one. I don't have a combat for that one right now, but it's coming though. But yeah, man, like you got to own up to your faults and your downfalls and man the hell up. In the National Guard, we have a wide variety of people come from active duty, people that's never been active duty, that's just been guard. But you got some guardmen that go on multiple deployments as well, and phenomenal soldiers. And you're like, man, why you just ain't go active? They just love their civilian life. They like, you know, bouncing between two careers. And I know we kind of spinning off to the side a little bit, but that's just it, man. There is some bad isms about National Guard. There's some bad isms about active duty, and we could go blow for blow. But at the end of the day, I think it's all about who that person is. It's not what you're associated to, whether you're nasty girl or national garbage. That's not unheard at all.
I've never heard of national garbage.
That was the thing. I'm like, damn, man, that's pretty low, man. Damn, you know. I know I don't do this every day, but damn, I don't pick up garbage, you know. But again, it's like I tell people, man, there's a hood in every state and every city. Yeah. And it ain't matter what hood you it from, is what's in here and what's in here. Yeah. So that's what I judge you by at the end of the day. And I think that's why me and you connect. I mean, you've been active duty for 20 plus years. I've been in the Guard for 24 years. Yeah. You know, balancing career, family, and work and military is not an easy thing, but it's doable, man. So, you know, hats off to you, you know, Santa Claus.
Hey, man. Just need to hang it up. You know what I mean? So get you one of these hats. But yeah, folks, let us know what you think about Travis King. Let me know what you guys think about Bert, dog. Just leave us, you know, some comments in the comment section below, and we'll follow his trial as it develops. It wouldn't surprise me if he gets some time in jail, mainly because, hey, he embarrassed the United States and the military, and I think he's going to be made an example of. But we'll see how everything develops, right? But yeah, guys, this is, again, Behind the Beret, just raw feedback regarding what's going on around the world, right? These will air every Sunday. All right, Larry, I appreciate you coming on.
Man, I appreciate you.
Take care of yourself.
Yo.